Hey there, quilting friend, it's Carolina Moore, your favorite sewing and quilting YouTuber, and today we're doing block 10 of the Mini Quilt Advent. How are we at 10 already? 10. So today is Saturday, and if I've planned this right, I'm going to be off baking cookies while y'all sew up your block 10s and watch me doing this today, even though obviously since these videos go up 5 in the morning on my time, I film them a little bit ahead. So today's Saturday, and if I planned my weekend well, I am spending my whole day in the kitchen today doing all my Christmas baking. So I would love it if you left me a comment. Let me know where you're at with your blocks. If you're just watching along and you've already given up on getting all these done this holiday, or if you are following along, or if you're getting all caught up today, I would love to know where you're at on this. And even if it's not Saturday when you're watching this video, let me know. How quickly were you able to get through all these? Did you stay on track? Or are we just kind of catching as catch can? Which is totally how the holidays are for me. Okay, so if you're new to Mini Quilt Advent, you want to know what all of this is about, there should be a link right around here-ish somewhere that you can click. Certain devices won't show those links, so go down to the description and the link to all about the Mini Quilt Advent will be down there. And now, it's time to open our block 10. Okay, so here we go, block 10. And this one is a nice little rectangle. And we're doing this fun, like 9-patch variation today. It will go together pretty quickly. It's not a ton of cutting, 3 different shapes. 4 of one, 4 of the other, and then 1 of the big center one. So it's not a ton of cutting, and it's a pretty simple sewing. No half square triangles today to fuss together and to try to fussy cut half square triangles. So an easy breezy block for a Saturday. Okay, so I need this piece, which is my 2 by 3.5 inch strip, and I need my 2-inch squares, which is you, and my big 3.5 inch square. There we go. Okay, let's see. I'm going to go from the bottom because generally I've been putting the fabrics that I use on top, and so that means the bottom are the ones that I haven't touched recently. So actually, let's just pick the 3 bottom fabrics and go with it. See what happens. Okay, I want to put one of these seams in the center because actually, well, this is a 2 fabric block. I'm going to make it 3, and I also made it 3 in the version that I made before. Just because. And same kind of thing, a fussy cut center, and then here I did fussy cut doves, and then I'd used a non-directional fabric for there. Does that, you know what? I will just go ahead and do 2 fabrics. Because I already did one where I went off the beaten path, and it's not fair if I write a pattern and then don't show you how to make it according to the pattern, right? So it's 3 different shapes, but 2 different fabrics. I'm going to cut my 2 by 3.5 inch rectangles, which is today's shape, out of my trees, and I'll do that in a little bit. But first I'm going to cut all my squares, my 2 by 2s, and my 3.5 by 3.5 from this. Okay, I don't remember what I've already fussy cut. Hello, I should be able to tell what I've already fussy cut because I have my Swiss cheese here. Okay, looks like the lake was cut over here. Was that a lake? Yes, probably. And the big tree has been cut. And I know I cut one of these buildings. I mean, do I want to do... I mean, that would be fun. With like a little slice of life driving down the town square. I mean, that's a little different fussy cut. You know, I'm gonna do it. I mean, if I hate it, I could always do something different. But I promised myself I wasn't going to take it that serious. And we don't need to spend 20 minutes figuring out the fabric that I'm going to use. If you want to spend 20 minutes on yours, go for it. I'm just not going to do that today. And now I was thinking it might be cute if I did all these little hot chocolate stands in the corners. So I'm getting dangerously close to my selvage here, but just outside of it. So let's see if I can cut 4 hot chocolate stands. So there's one. Maybe it's supposed to be a coffee cart. I don't know. During the holidays, I kind of feel like it's a hot chocolate stand. And these are quick and easy little cuts to make. If it's getting hard, it's time to change your rotary blade. We've already had this conversation that a sharp rotary blade is safer than a dull one. So if it's starting to get dull, keep yourself safe by getting a nice sharp one. Okay, that I can't cut, but I'll be able to cut this one and this one. Actually, I'm trying to make like the least Swiss cheese out of my fabric possible. So I'll do this one. There we go. Now, another thing that you're welcome to do as you are sewing this along, if you have any just regular quilting questions, sewing questions, feel free to ask those as well. I love answering questions. I got a question recently about cutting mats, and they said their cutting mat was all warped, and likely their cutting mat was all warped, I said, because it got too close to a heat source. So that's how mine always warp. Either I put my iron, even with a wool mat, on top of my cutting mat, ruin the cutting mat. And then one time I completely destroyed a cutting mat by leaving it in a hot car during the day, and it just completely, there's no way, there's no coming back from it. It just, that was gone. You can't ever smooth that out again. And sure enough, yep, having their cutting mat too close to heat is what messed that up. So feel free to ask questions. I've been quilting a long time. I'm still pretty young. I'm 42 right now, but I've been quilting since I was 12, so that's 30 years. And a lot of that I spent doing things the wrong way just because I didn't know better, and then learning the right way and learning why that was the right way. So I love learning different things and then sharing those things with everybody else. Okay, before we cut these, we do want to pay attention to our pattern that 2 of them are horizontal and 2 of them are vertical. So if we're going to fussy cut these, which we don't have to, but if we're going to, we want to pay attention. So like if this one, this is actually a good spot to do a horizontal tree. I'll line it up with that edge that I cut before. And that's pretty well centered to do a horizontal tree right here. So I'm going to do 2 horizontal and 2 vertical. Is there another good horizontal spot or a really great vertical spot? Like this one could be a good horizontal spot. I've done a really good job with this fabric. I am using a 1/2 yard bundle, but I haven't cut beyond the fold. So I've only used a fat quarter of any of these fabrics, or less than a fat quarter, because there's still plenty left on most of them. Okay, 2. Now for vertical. Let's see. Did a green one and a white one. Maybe I'll just keep it simple and just do green and white trees. And I am cutting this tree upside down to me. If you need to turn your fabric so that it's right side up for you to be able to cut it, totally fine. No judgment. My brain does those flippy things in my brain where right side up and upside down is fine. But sometimes, especially if you're tired, it really helps to see it like the right way up. Okay, and I'm going to do a white one here. Okay. So I have all of my pieces. There we go. And then I'm going to give these a quick press because a lot of them were cut on folds. And then we're going to lay out the block. Center, one side, other side, top, bottom, doesn't matter. Now if you look, I have 2 green and 2 white, and no matter how I do it, I will have 2 white and 2 green, or 2 white and 2 green. I'm not worried about the placement of those. I could have done like 2 green and 2 white. I could have done all green. I could have done all white. Doesn't matter. Laying out my block. Since I'm done with my cutting, I can put my pieces all back in my project pouch. I'll add that project pouch. There we go. And now I'm going to stitch these together. So I'm going to stitch them into pairs, and then once they're stitched in pairs, I'm going to add the piece on the other side. I'm going to press. All of these can just get pressed towards the dark. So in, out, in, and then the rows will get stitched together. Super simple. You'll notice I don't have a cat on my lap today while trying to sew these. We'll see if it stays that way. She is hanging around. So just right sides together, 1/4 inch seam allowance, stitching right down. I lifted my needle, lifted my presser foot, and now I'm putting these all back in their spots, double checking that everything is right side up and I didn't mess anything up when I stitched it. Looks good. So now I can add on the other side. All right, we are pressing all of these towards our dark fabric. So press. Press. When I need to press out, I take one and flip it underneath so it's not in the way, because otherwise this iron, when I'm bringing it over to press, will already mess with this other seam, and I don't want that. So then I bring the other seam open. Okay, I'm actually really loving that I did this 2 colors. I mean, the third fabric still would have been cute. I wouldn't have hated a third fabric, but I love the simplicity of this just being a 2 fabric block. Obviously 3 looks great too, and I love how I limited the colors of the green and the white on those trees. I didn't use the pink ones, I didn't use the yellow ones. I think if I would have done all white trees, it would give it like another really fun look, kind of like snowy trees. Yep, that's okay. We make design choices, and then later on we decide, do I love it? Do I hate it? What do I learn from it? Do I want to rip it out and do it again? And I'm not ripping this out and doing it again. It's fine. I mean, I have enough fabric that I could cut another one. If I hated it, I don't hate it. Just having fun with a simple holiday project and saying, that would look cute too. Which is really a great way to have things be. Like, oh, that would look cute too is way better than, oh my gosh, like nothing looks good on this, right? And I have all these extra threads just hanging out on here. There we go. Double checking that everything's going to get positioned right. It is. Flip that over. Nest my seams. Now I can press it in, press it out, press in one direction. The pattern instructions say press in one direction. I feel like pressing this out today. Both are totally fine. Both ways will totally work. And there isn't one that is better or worse than the other. And there we go. I have to cut all these threads still because they're just driving me crazy, just all these threads hanging around as I was stitching quickly. This was a quick fun block. Okay, so 2 different versions of today's block 10. How are we doing with block 10? We just have 2 more blocks left to finish this Mini Quilt Advent. Friends, thanks so much for hanging out. Make sure that you're subscribed to this channel. Make sure that you've given this video a thumbs up. If you have any questions or comments, leave those down below. Remember, over on Instagram, hashtag Mini Quilt Advent 2022 and tag me at Craftmore. I love to see how your blocks are coming. That's it for today, my friends. I will see you right here tomorrow. Bye for now.